Good Sunday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's weather forecast, we have lots to unpack. We're talking about several storm systems moving in across the West Coast, including California, with very heavy flooding rain and heavy mountain snow. We'll also be talking about the Northeast snowstorm potential increasing as we get into next weekend, and also taking a look at the long-range weather forecast for all of North America in this video. If you guys are new to the channel and have not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button down below, everyone. We're just about to hit 13,000 subscribers here this morning, so definitely hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Looking out there here this morning, we got more of that zonal flow from west to east across most of North America, including the lower 48 here in the United States. And what this means is we're going to have near seasonable temperatures to slightly above average temperatures going through this afternoon. These are your high temperatures here this Sunday afternoon, with that fresh snowpack up here to the north across the upper Midwest and the western Great Lakes. That is promising some middle 20s for highs across portions of the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. But farther south, where we don't have snow on the ground, we're going to see a nice warm up this afternoon. Temperatures will be in the 50s down here across Kansas, Oklahoma, much of the Tennessee Valley, and even some 60s farther southward toward the Gulf Coast, and 70s down into Florida this afternoon. But looking at the visible satellite imagery going through today, we have a very big system moving in across the West Coast, bringing some heavier mountain snow and rain across places like Washington State, Oregon, California, and Nevada. But this is just the start of what looks to be a parade of storms moving through over the next 7 to 10 days. So looking at the picture here this afternoon, we got some of that heavy mountain snow in those upper elevations of Idaho, getting into portions of Washington State, Oregon State, and then the Sierra Nevadas there in California. But in those lower elevation, Seattle, Washington, down through Portland, Oregon, and parts of the Sacramento Valley here, we could be seeing some rain showers out there. The heaviest of the rain does look to be up across portions of Washington and Oregon here into the Pacific Northwest this afternoon. We also have a frontal boundary across the Carolinas and down here across the Gulf Coast, bringing some lighter showers and a few thunderstorms with a cold front down there into the southeast this afternoon as well. So with the precipitation expected over the next 24 hours here, we're going to be talking about some heavier rain across northern and central California here, with around 1 to 3 inches of rain on the way over the next 24 hours. Some lighter amounts up to the north, around a ½ inch to an inch across the Seattle area, getting down toward Portland, Oregon. And then that stripe of rain from portions of East Texas, Louisiana, and through the deep south here towards Tennessee. That's where we're going to be picking up an inch or an inch and a half of rain in some spots, with that cold front moving through with some showers and some thunderstorms mixing in later on today. We also have the flooding potential across northern and central California, that marginal to slight risk for excessive rainfall going through this afternoon into the Monday morning time frame. So definitely some potentially isolated flash flooding potential later on today. But the heavy snow over the next 24 hours with this system will be there as well. We could be picking up an additional 6 to 12 inches or so of snow across the Sierra Nevada mountains here in California, and then moving up here into northern California as well. But if you guys are still with me on this video, definitely remember to press that like button down below. That's that thumbs up button. It helps to get all of this weather information out to more and more people, so I definitely appreciate that here. But looking into early next week, this is on Monday, January 9th, and a very powerful low pressure system will be taking place across the northeastern United States here, or the northeastern Pacific Ocean rather, and getting into the northwestern United States. And this is going to be a powerful trough digging into the California coast here, and you're going to be seeing an atmospheric river of moisture moving across the Sacramento Valley all the way up here into portions of Nevada and much of the west coast here of California going into that Monday time frame. And that's why there's already those flash flood watches across places here of the Sacramento Valley from north central California down towards portions of southern California as well. We also have these pink shaded colors. That is winter storm warnings, where we are gearing up for several feet of snow in the Sierra Nevadas going through early next week. And looking here as well, we have a marginal risk, a rare marginal risk for severe storms across western portions of California along the coast there. That's for a 2% shading of tornadoes. Yes, there could be an isolated spin-up tornado or two across coastal western portions of California later on Monday afternoon. So that will be something to keep an eye on as the system moves ashore. So looking here Monday morning around sunrise or thereabout, around 6 a.m., you definitely see the heavy snow breaking out across the Sierra Nevada mountains here, getting crushed by several feet of snow starting out Monday morning, and then definitely seeing lots of moderate to heavy pockets of rain across the Sacramento Valley, getting down here into places like Sacramento, San Diego, and then also into portions of San Francisco as well. And then as we get into Monday evening, still very heavy snowfall here across portions of the Sierra Nevada mountains. More of that snowfall will be spreading farther north here into northern Nevada, Idaho, getting into Washington State and Oregon, and then over here toward the Salt Lake City area. But very heavy rainfall will be persisting across portions of central and eventually southern California Monday evening. Then getting into the Tuesday timeframe, midday on Tuesday, January 10th, again, another atmospheric river of moisture will be plummeting into portions of California with lots of very heavy snow and rain going through the day on Tuesday and into the overnight hours, into the middle of the week on Wednesday on the midnight time frame. That system will be moving farther to the east toward the Rockies and losing a little bit of its punch as well, with still that heavier mountain snow, but still a lot less moisture than we are seeing on Monday and Tuesday as it moves farther to the east. So looking over that 48-hour period of precipitation, this is your liquid precipitation out there, the rainfall, very heavy rain across the Sacramento Valley here into north central California. Some heavier rain could be sneaking down into southern California as well, and also western Nevada could be seeing some heavier rain with this, anywhere from about 1 to 3, maybe even 4+ inches along coastal California is likely. Some heavier rainfall is possible a little farther north toward Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington as well. Maybe a couple of inches there is possible, but definitely seeing a very widespread signal for flash flooding across the Sacramento Valley in California. A large, moderate risk for flash flooding across those areas going into that Monday and Tuesday timeframe on January 9th and 10th. And understanding what these categories mean, a moderate risk for flash flooding means numerous flash floods are likely, and definitely a significant event is possible from this. Many streams may flood, potentially affecting large rivers and basins out here across the West Coast, so that will be something to watch. And then going into the middle of the week, Tuesday into Wednesday timeframe on January 10th and 11th, still seeing that flash flooding potential with that marginal to slight risk for flash flooding, and this time including portions of the Los Angeles region with that slight risk for flash flooding as we get towards the middle of the week. So again, flash flood safety out there, turn around, don't drown here. Rapid flowing streams or ditches can sweep you off your feet, and vehicles downstream as well. Remain alert if you live in flood-prone areas. Move to higher ground if flash flooding does threaten your area as well. Use caution at night. Night is, again, you can't see the flooded waterways at nighttime because it's dark out. And again, stay out of flooded areas. Water may still be rising and be very swift and fast-moving as well. And again, flood waters can hide rocks, trees, and debris. So even if you move your vehicle through flooded roadways, which I highly recommend you not to do, then again, you won't be seeing that debris in there and you could be caught in that. So definitely be mindful of that. And again, flooding at night, it's impossible to see flooding at night, and let alone during the day. So again, turn around, don't drown, and don't drive through any flooded roadways, and that will save you a lot of grief. So looking here over the next 24 hours here, again, during that time frame from Monday into Tuesday, we're going to be talking about a crushing snowfall, and I mean a crushing snowfall here across the Sierra Nevadas. We're talking 60, 70, 80 inches or more across portions of this region. Again, several feet of snow is on the way with an atmospheric river across this region, and that's going to lead to extreme impacts here. So treacherous travel here, especially into those higher elevations of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Looking at the U.S. Drought Monitor here that was released on January 3rd, Again, we still have these orange and red shaded colors across California, the Sacramento Valley, and then getting up here into Oregon and Nevada as well. That's, again, severe and extreme drought still present. We did drop away from that exceptional drought, which is some good news, and I do think with a lot of this moisture moving in, this will actually improve in a big way with the next drought monitor that comes out next Thursday. But as this system moves farther to the east, it's going to be moving over the Rocky Mountains here and across the southern and central plains. So you can see that ripple of energy here across the panhandle of Texas, getting into western Kansas and western Oklahoma here as well on Wednesday, January 11th. That will continue to move its way off to the east, across the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and eventually across the Northeast going into late next week on Friday, January 13th. And this is going to be leading to more of a neutrally tilted trough across the eastern two-thirds of the country, and that's going to be pulling down some cold air from Canada across the Great Lakes into the Ohio Valley and the Northeast as well. And these temperatures will be cold enough to produce some heavy snows and potentially a snowstorm across the Northeast getting into late next week and next weekend towards the middle of January. So looking at Wednesday, January 11th here, you definitely see that low pressure system starting to move across the Rockies as a 999 millibar low forms here across portions of the Front Range. And then as we go to the day on Thursday, we have that cold front extending farther south from the Tennessee Valley down through the Gulf Coast. We might have to watch out for some severe weather on Thursday. Ahead of that front, we could see dew points rising into the middle and upper 50s, some lower 60-degree dew points down here into Alabama, Georgia, and the immediate Gulf Coast, and that will provide fuel with a very powerful mid-level jet in the 500 millibar layer rounding the base of this neutrally tilted trough with winds in the mid-levels around 70 to 80 knots, and also a little bit of a lower level jet as well here in the 850 millibar layer. That's going to be up around 40, perhaps 50 knots across the deep south and the southeast with all those dew points out there. And so we'll have to watch out for some severe storms. But then as this moves up towards the mid-Atlantic and northeast, we're going to have a 996 millibar low across the backside of the system. A lot of heavy snow across places like Pennsylvania, upstate New York, getting into northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and northern Maine as well. And then going down farther south along the Appalachian chain here, some very heavy snow. And again, that I-95 corridor is still looking at some rainfall potential here. Any little wobble with this system will mean the difference between heavy snow and heavy rain. And then going into Saturday, next weekend, January 14th, that system peels off the East Coast, and again, another system will take aim across the West Coast next weekend as we have more heavy snow and heavy rain across the Sacramento Valley and portions of California. So looking over that 48-hour period here from late next week, from Friday through that Sunday timeframe, very heavy rain across portions of the Ohio Valley, getting across the eastern two-thirds of the country, averaging around 1 to 2 inches worth of rain across these areas. And again, looking at a heavy snowfall a swath here across the Northeast, especially upstate New York, getting into northwestern Pennsylvania, portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, and portions of Maine as well, while the I-95 corridor from Boston to New York City and New Jersey, mainly a dusting to an inch possible from this on the backside of the system, according to the European forecast model. Looking at the Canadian model is actually fairly in decent agreement with this, with again a heavier swath of snow from northwestern Pennsylvania, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine as well, with mainly rain along the I-95 corridor, with maybe a ½ inch to an inch of snow on the backside of the system as it swings closer towards New York City and Boston as we get towards late next weekend. But after that, towards the very end of January, that last week in January, a pattern shift does appear still on track as we have that trough moving in here across the southern United States here. We're going to have more of a blocking pattern setting up across the Northeast Pacific and up here toward Greenland as well, and eastern Canada, which will actually force a trough farther to the south with some colder temperatures. And again, a very interesting weather pattern going in towards the first few days even of February as well. We could be pulling down here that polar vortex, stretching it out, and maybe a polar vortex disruption beginning around this time frame as well, getting into early February with, again, that blocking pattern over the Aleutian Islands and across Alaska and the northeastern Pacific, setting up that trough across the eastern 2/3 of the country. And you definitely see that towards that last week here in January, around the 24th, 25th timeframe, and likely taking us beyond into early February. We'll see multiple troughs digging down farther south across the southern United States and the eastern 2/3 of the country. And that's going to also be pulling down a lot of this cold air. That freezing line will go all the way south to North Texas here, the Red River area, and then down toward the Arklatex, getting into that time frame here, and then that will be pulling down also that snow line farther south, so places like Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, maybe as far south here as the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. We could be talking about some heavier snow breaking out toward the end of January, and also some heavier snow being promised potentially across portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, getting towards at least the end of January. And I do think that as we get into early February, that snow line just continues to move farther south, potentially towards Tennessee and Arkansas as well. And again, this is going to open the door with that new snowpack. If we do see that occur towards late January, we're going to see fresh snow across portions of the Central Plains, getting up here in the Midwest. If that does occur, we're going to see that polar vortex stretching or disruption event occur as well towards late January, pulling down that freezing line farther south. And again, that could make its way all the way south here to southern Texas and the immediate Gulf Coast, similar to what we had back in December as we head here into late January into early February timeframe. So thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely much appreciated. If you liked the video, press the thumbs up down below. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. Get to those later on today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I will see you all in the next video.